So, unfortunately, the malfunctions, dysfunctions, and harassment in this unit never end. And that's because the Greenville Group are choosing to house a homicidal psychopath who's also a sex offender and a cyber criminal named Jasmine Irizarry. And Irizarry is extremely destructive because she claims that she's a structural engineer who gets paid to solve problems, which means that she actually deconstructs things that are supposed to be functioning. One of these things that she likes to deconstruct and tamper with is the plumbing system to this unit and the water supply to this unit. And over the last, I don't know, several hours now, I've been trying to finish washing some washcloths in this tub, and the water from this tap has been, once again, intermittently oily, slick, slimy, and foul smelling, and I can't use it for anything. At the same time, there's been a tremendous amount of cigar and marijuana smoke coming from the area of the vacant premises of Unit 78 located behind this wall. And every single time I've gone to the sink to try to wash my hands, Irizarry has literally blasted me somewhere from behind this wall with her directed energy device, hitting me in a full body slam of some type of electronic assault, presumably from a directed energy device, as she claims to have been using over the last several years. Irizarry is a stupid criminal who likes to brag about her criminal abilities and activities, and has done so in writing on social media, telling me that her use of a directed energy device is really not that bad. What am I complaining about? There's a leak underneath the sink that is pretty severe, and every time I try to wash anything in the sink, the valves underneath the sink leak water. So the water comes out from under here and from under here. And even though I have washcloths down, I keep having to squeeze them out because of the water that literally drips from these two valves for some strange reason that has nothing to do with anything that I am or am not doing. This is the Greenville's plumbing system that is faulty and defective, and that doesn't work properly. So I can't really use the water from the sink at all, not only because it has an oily, thick, slimy, stinking residue in it that coats everything that you try to rinse with some kind of thick, slimy oil or grease, but also because there's constant water leaking under here. Anytime you turn on that tap, the water leaks, and even these thick washcloths that I keep squeezing out don't do much to get rid of the water. I've actually made videos about how I'm squeezing handfuls of water out from these washcloths that are just saturated with water. And again, this is the Greenville Group's faulty and defective plumbing equipment. Has nothing to do with me. I did not install any of this stuff. And at the same time, Irizarry is smoking and literally doxing her own physical presence behind this wall, because this is about as close as she'll ever physically get to somebody who she seems to think owes her something. And that would be me. She has problems with other females. I'm assuming she is a she is a registered sex offender, but her sex offenses are targeted towards females, not males, because she's jealous. She is a malignantly, psychotically jealous piece of filth who can't leave people alone. So every time I lie on my bed, and every time I've tried to lie on my bed over the last few hours, or gone to the sink to try to wash my hands, that seems to trigger Irizarry, the psycho scum, asswipe, psychopath, into directly using a directed energy device from the area behind this wall to electronically assault me while I'm standing here just trying to soap up my hands, mind my own business. Wow, that is quite a crack right here. Look at this. Holy shit. I just noticed this. Wow. Where did that come from? The wall is completely cracked. There's cracks right here too. Look at this. Jesus. And there's like a tremendous amount of cockroaches that suddenly showed up in this unit over the last few hours as well. I have not seen a cockroach in this unit in days. And now they're literally like all over this corner again, always coming from the area behind this wall. When Irizarry, the psycho scum, registered sex offender, career hate stalking asswipe, is doxing her presence behind this wall, that's when all the cockroaches suddenly show up. That's when the smoke starts to fill this corner with sickening, intense amounts of what smells like cigar and marijuana smoke. That's when she uses her directed energy device to physically assault me while I'm lying on my bed, quietly minding my own business and not bothering anyone. This is something that's been going on for months and for years. I've been reporting it to the Greenville Group, and because they're obviously using Irizarry's psycho scum career asswipe criminal abilities for their own nefarious purposes, they are refusing to address her behavioral issues and the fact that she targets other tenants, specifically female tenants, and basically like goes to town on them in whatever way she can. She's a mentally disturbed, rejected asswipe, career stalker who nobody wants to have anything to do with. And the Greenville Group are protecting her by allowing her to do whatever she wants to other females because they also have issues with females. The Greenville Group are themselves apparently feral males. I don't know what their marital situation is, but they seem to, I mean, I'm talking about Mr. Oleg Lisayev, Robert McLean, and the owner, Karitnik. They all seem to have issues with females, given by the fact that they don't rent to females, have very few females living in this building, and the few females that they do rent to, they're basically allowing to be harassed by the male criminal sex offenders who they house in large numbers in this building complex. The Greenville Group is almost exclusively renting to male sex offenders, career thugs, and mentally disturbed asswipe, bottom-feeding scumbags. As the Boston police said, they call these guys a bunch of scumbags. They didn't call them asswipes. That's my word. But that's what they are. And the Greenville Group literally has no problem discriminating against female tenants by allowing the male sex offenders and Jasmine Irizarry to harass female tenants to the point where, you know, they're hoping that they will move out. I'm not going to move out. They're wasting their time. The more they try to force me to move out by aggressively stalking and harassing me, preventing me from being able to enjoy what I'm doing in the privacy of my unit, the more they're wasting their time. They're completely wasting their time. They picked on the wrong bitch. But right now, I'm unable to lie on my bed and relax because Irizarry, the psycho scum, hideously ugly, stinking piece of ghetto filth who is being sponsored, obviously, by the Greenville Group to hate stalk female tenants, is preventing me from being able to do anything in this unit without getting electronically assaulted by her use of a directed energy device, as she has admitted to using on social media. She also told me on social media that her weapon is a $300,000 weapon and that she's aiming it at my head. Well, that is exactly what's been happening because while I've been lying here on my bed trying to rest, Irizarry's use of a directed energy device starts at the top of my head and it goes all the way down through my feet. It is literally like your entire body is being squeezed to the point where there's no more juice in it. You feel like you're being squeezed to death. It feels like an electrocution, which is exactly what it is. This is serious physical assault, folks. This is not some kind of minor little smack on the hand by, you know, an annoyed fellow tenant. This is a homicidal psychopath who the police have told me have done some bad things. I'm talking about Irizarry, the psycho scum, hideously ugly, rejected piece of shit who hate stalks people and is being sponsored by the Greenville Group in her hate stalking activities. And again, there's suddenly large numbers of cockroaches all over the place. I haven't seen a single cockroach in here in days. And now they suddenly show up in large numbers, but only in this area right here, which is where all the mice and cockroaches I've ever seen, that's where they all come from. They all come from the vacant premises of the bathroom located behind this wall that Greenville is deliberately keeping vacant and empty. But right now has a psychopath, a psychotic stalker, a registered sex offender, and a mentally disturbed career harasser named Jasmine Irizarry physically in the premises of that bathroom because there's been a tremendous amount of smoke and fumes of marijuana and cigar smoke coming from behind this wall over the last few hours, as I have already reported in a video I made 2 or 3 hours ago now. Yeah, I mean, the shithole fuckery never ends in this place because Shithole Central is the Creepville Group, and they're allowing a career psychopath who's a sex offender, a cyber criminal, and a career stalker to engage in whatever disruptive, harmful activities that she feels like in the vacant premises of her former bathroom located behind this wall that they're conveniently keeping permanently vacant and empty for nefarious purposes that have absolutely nothing to do with legitimate business purposes and, profit-making activities. Legitimate, right? The Greenville Group or Russian mafia, as have been informed by multiple people who are part of the Russian community here in Boston and who also are part of the real estate agency business in Boston, housing court members, housing advocates, paralegals from housing, legal services and things like that. They've all informed me the Greenville Group is a Russian mafia criminal organization that does shady stuff. So there we go. Okay, yeah. So this is usually the time when Irizarry, who is so mentally disturbed, she's incapable of engaging in any kind of normal human behavior, such as relaxing in front of a movie on a Friday night. She literally hate stalks other people while they're trying to engage in activities that they enjoy and that have nothing to do with her. And her signature move is to literally smoke intense amounts of marijuana and cigar smoke from directly behind that wall, fill my entire unit while electronically assaulting me with her directed energy device, to prevent me from being able to enjoy whatever I happen to be doing while I'm lying on my bed. Usually it involves watching movies, but sometimes listening to videos or music that Irizarry seems to have a problem with. And then she gets even more aggressive with her directed energy device when she doesn't like the kind of music I happen to be listening to or the contents of the video podcast that I happen to be listening to. That's because she's able to hear everything that I do and say in the privacy of this unit. Multiple individuals have told me over the years that there are surveillance devices in this unit, including Boston Police. They have knowledge of the fact that the Greenville Group is using surveillance devices in my unit. So nothing that I watch or listen to in this unit is remotely private. And then Irizarry, who's a mentally disturbed piece of ghetto filth, who is sponsored by BLM and also sponsored by the Greenville Group, because the Greenville Group sponsors BLM in their building. She is permitted to go to town with her directed energy device to electronically assault me because she doesn't like what she hears me listening to in the privacy of my unit. Isn't that completely fucked up? Well, that's how the Greenville Group operates, because they're a fucked up criminal organization, obviously.
Hello, you've reached the Greenville Real Estate Group. Our office hours are from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Our office is currently closed. If this is an emergency, press 1. Otherwise, press 2 to leave a voicemail for the front office.
Yeah, here we go. Here comes the smoke.
After the tone, please leave a detailed message with your name and number so we may get back to you when we return.
Yeah, hi. It's right around 9:30 p.m. on Friday, September 13th, 2024. I'm calling from Unit 89 for a third time today to report that Jasmine Irizarry, your psycho scum, rejected asswipe piece of ghetto filth, who is a sex offender, a cyber criminal, and a psychopath, according to what you and law enforcement have informed me about this individual, has been deliberately smoking in the bathroom located directly behind the wall of my kitchen sink, which is a permanently vacant premises of Unit 78, where Irizarry was officially housed by you guys between 2013 and 2022, and where she continues to be permitted by you guys to access the premises of her former unit, obviously because it's located directly behind the wall of my kitchen sink and it's just 4 feet from my bed. That is about as close as Irizarry, this disgusting piece of rejected ghetto filth, will ever get to being near me, which is obviously something that she tries to do very hard because, as you've informed me, she's a mentally disturbed stalker who targets other females. At the same time, Irizarry has been using her directed energy device, which she has admitted to using on social media, to electronically assault me over the last few hours while I've been quietly lying on my bed, listening to Celtic music, which seems to trigger Irizarry into a frenzy of electronic assaults using her electronic assault device that she, again, has admitted to using in writing on social media, and claims that it is a $300,000 weapon that she is aiming at my head. She is actually correct in that statement of hers, because the electronic assault starts with my head and it goes all the way down my entire body, making me feel like I'm being squeezed until there's no more juice in my body. It literally feels like I'm being electrocuted from head to toe when Irizarry directs her directed energy device at me while I'm lying on my bed. And it's always when I'm lying on my bed or standing at my sink washing my hands after using the toilet. She also uses her directed energy device on me in various bathrooms of this building, because she's obviously your surveillance expert, as you have told me that she is. And she's using surveillance devices not just in my living space, but in the common bathrooms of this building. I've reported over the last few days that Irizarry has been electronically assaulting me with her directed energy device when I've tried to quietly use the facilities in common bathrooms on other floors. This means that you and Irizarry are using illegal surveillance devices in the common bathrooms, obviously for nefarious purposes that involve violating the privacy of various tenants when they use those facilities. At the same time, there is a significant leak underneath my sink that you guys have refused to address or to fix, and it is causing a lot of damage to the wooden cabinet of the sink itself and to the floor around the sink. And for some strange reason, even though Inspectional Services issued a citation to you guys in July for a significant leak underneath my sink, you have completely refused to fix that leak, and it continues to cause a lot of damage to the floor around my sink because the valves are leaking and something in the drain pipe is also leaking. Also, over the last few hours, there has been a burst of cockroaches all of a sudden all around my sink area coming from the bathroom of 78 located behind my kitchen sink. And that's the only place where there has been cockroaches at any point over the last 7 or 8 days. I haven't seen a single cockroach in here until a few hours ago. And then they all started coming out of the area of my kitchen sink, which shares a wall with the bathroom of 78, where all of the cockroaches and mice that I've ever seen seem to be coming from. It is not a stretch of the imagination that Jasmine Irizarry, being a severely disturbed, homicidal psychopath who is a danger to herself and to others, is not just using a directed energy device to electronically assault me while I'm lying on my bed, which is obviously surveillance-based harassment, but she is also propagating large numbers of cockroaches and other types of pests into my unit from the wall behind my kitchen sink, because that is where those pests always come from, and they're rarely seen anywhere else in the unit. I am recording this voicemail for legal purposes, and as I keep mentioning, I will be following up with a written notification to you and your legal team. Be prepared for a lot of emails in the next few days, and we'll be filing court action against you and against Irizarry herself, because she is obviously if she's able to use a directed energy device and coordinate the use of many surveillance devices, as you have told me that she does, then she is perfectly capable of taking herself to court and speaking in front of a judge about her nefarious criminal activities and the comments that she's made bragging about her criminal activities on social media. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's a waste of time to leave voicemails for them because they're the ones who are hiring Jasmine Irizarry and who have bragged to me about her criminal abilities. And the fact that, according to her corrupt criminal handler, Oleg Aliseyev, who's also a sociopath, I mean, I have the PhD level clinical psychology education to be able to accurately pinpoint Mr. Aliseyev's sociopathic tendencies. And he likes to brag about his own criminal abilities and activities, just like Irizarry does. You got a bunch of psychotic, bragging criminals in this organization, folks. And as he put it, Jasmine Irizarry is so talented, she can hack into anything and she can take care of anything. So there you go. Nothing is off limits after your property manager has admitted to engaging the use of a highly dangerous, psychotic psychopath who, according to Boston police, has done some very bad things. All bets are off at that point.